The Pitt just became the most nominated show at the 78th Primetime Emmy Awards, and it did it while already being in production on season 3. And while Noah Wyle was standing on a set in Pittsburgh, finding out the news alongside his cast and crew on July 8th, he was also quietly giving us more information about season 3 than this show has revealed in any single interview since production began. So let's talk about all of it. The Emmy nominations, the season 2 numbers that made this whole thing possible, the cast changes, the format shift that has never happened in this show's history before now, and the storylines Noah Wyle just confirmed are coming when this show returns in January 2027. First, the nominations. Because 25 nominations at the 78th Primetime Emmy Awards is not just the most of any drama this year. It's a statement about where this show sits right now in the landscape of television. Noah Wyle received 2 personal nominations: Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series, his second consecutive nomination in the category, having already won it at last year's ceremony, and Outstanding Directing for a drama series for the episode titled 12 Haisu PM, which aired February 12th. That makes him the rare television talent who is simultaneously nominated in front of and behind the camera for the same series in the same year. He has now accumulated 10 Emmy nominations across the full span of his career with 2 wins. When Deadline spoke to him on the morning the nominations were announced, he said, "This just feels very much like a gift that keeps on giving." And then he immediately redirected to the ensemble around him in a way that I honestly think tells you everything about who he actually is on that set. I feel very humbled by this and validated many times over. Today, I feel extremely gratified that the nominations were spread so far and wide across our casting. It really feels like a testament to the collective achievement and contribution that everybody makes. And the nominations really are spread wide. Catherine Lanasa received a nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, as did Sepideh Moafi and Taylor Dearden. Jaron Howell and Sean Hattasey received nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. Patrick Ball, in what is his first Emmy nomination, is also in the Supporting Actor category. The show also received recognition in Guest Actor categories, writing, editing, directing, casting, makeup, and Outstanding Drama Series. The only significant absence that Wyle himself specifically called out in his Deadline interview was the show's director of photography, Jojo Coelho, who was not nominated despite her cinematography being, in Wyle's own words, such a huge part of our show and a part of every single one of those nominations, because her work is so spectacular. That is a working lead actor on the most nominated show of the year going out of his way in a celebratory interview to make sure his DP gets her credit anyway. I honestly think that moment says more about the culture of this show than the nomination count itself. The cast also won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Drama Ensemble this year. A recognition of the collective performance work that makes this show feel the way it feels to watch. Now, the numbers behind all of this, because the Emmy nominations did not come out of nowhere. The Pitt Season 2 grew in a way that almost never happens in the streaming era. The Season 2 finale was the most watched episode in the show's entire history, drawing 9.7 million viewers in its first weekend alone. And as of April 20, 2026, the show was averaging 4 million viewers per episode across all of Season 2 on HBO Max. That is a 50% improvement over Season 1's average. A show in its second season on a streaming platform growing its audience by 50% is genuinely extraordinary. Most streaming shows peak in their first season and coast. The Pitt went the other direction. Now the cast changes because season 3 is going to look different at Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Center. And I want to be precise about who is in, who is out, and who is somewhere in between. Supriya Ganesh, who played Dr. Samira Mohan across both seasons, will not be returning for season 3. Variety confirmed this in April 2026. The departure is described as story-driven, appropriate to the teaching hospital setting, where medical residents rotate out. But Mohan was one of the characters with the most devoted following among the show's audience, and her exit leaves a genuine gap in the ensemble. Sepideh Moafi as Dr. Baran al-Hashimi is returning, but not immediately. She confirmed her return in an interview with Gold Derby, saying, "Yes, I'll be back." But she also confirmed she will not be in the season premiere. The season 2 finale left her character in an extremely precarious position. Al-Hashimi broke down in tears in the parking lot after confessing her medical condition to Dr. Rabi, who then issued an ultimatum demanding she reveal her diagnosis to hospital administration. Her return is described as staggered rather than immediate, which means whatever the consequences of that ultimatum are is going to be part of the story season 3 tells, rather than something resolved in the gap between seasons. Shabana Aziz as Dr. Victoria Javadi is also returning, but in a fundamentally different capacity. Javadi is no longer part of the regular emergency department rotation. Her character chose to pursue emergency psychiatry in the season 2 finale, and season 3 will continue that story in a new setting. She is still on the show. She is just not in the same room as everyone else anymore. And given that Noah Wyle has described Robbie's mental health journey as one of season 3's central threads, the positioning of the show's psychiatry character as someone who is now closer to that world rather than embedded in the ED has an interesting narrative logic to it. And the one significant addition on the cast side, Aisha Harris, who has been playing Dr. Parker Ellis as a recurring night shift senior resident since season 1, has been promoted to series regular for season 3. That promotion was a long time coming based on how much screen time and how many meaningful scenes her character has accumulated across 2 seasons. Now, season 3 itself. And this is where I want to spend the most time, because what Noah Wyle revealed in his Deadline interview is genuinely significant. Since its premiere in January 2025, The Pitt has operated on a very specific creative principle. Each season covers one 15-hour shift in real time. 15 episodes, 15 hours, 1 day. And crucially, it has always set that day to coincide approximately with when the episodes are actually airing. So if you are watching in January, the characters are living through a January shift in the same cultural and environmental moment as the audience watching them. Season 3 breaks that rule entirely, and Wyle explained exactly why. Up until now, we've plotted our show almost in real time when people are watching. We've written the shows 8 months before we air, but we've written them to take place in the time and place in which they are being watched. This season, we didn't do that. What we're depicting is Thursday, November 12, 2026, and it will be aired in January of 2027. November 12, 2026. Shot in summer 2026. Aired in January 2027. A Thursday shift set 6 weeks before the characters or the audience is actually watching it. And Wyle was direct about why the creative team made that choice. He said they wanted to explore the feelings of people heading into the end of the year. the dread, the uncertainty, the particular emotional quality of late fall in America when certain political and social realities are becoming unavoidable rather than theoretical. He added, "We wanted to focus on what those last couple of months of the year are going to be like and what most people are going to have to do to prepare themselves for a very harsh reality in the next 7 to 8 years to underscore the point of how desperate this particular moment in time is." And that political specificity extends into concrete storylines Wyle confirmed for season 3. The show will address the real-life impact of the Big Beautiful Bill, the legislation that has severely cut Medicare and Medicaid budgets, on an emergency department that serves patients who depend on both programs. And season 3 will also highlight the conditions that are building toward a union strike, though Wyle clarified the show will not actually depict the strike itself or its impact on the hospital's workflow, just the pressure and the fractures accumulating toward it. Weather is a major character this season too. November in Pittsburgh means slick roads, people turning on their boilers and heaters for the first time, house fires, and a homeless population that can't stay outside. Wyle said it plainly. The weather is a character this season, for sure, and a possible respiratory virus crisis arriving just as Robbie is still processing trauma from the COVID era is something Wyle acknowledged without confirming, which is exactly how this show handles its most emotionally loaded storylines. On Robbie specifically, Wyle gave us the clearest update on his character's arc we've had since season 2 ended. He described a season-by-season theme across the show's first 3 years. Season 1 was about the doctor being the patient. Season 2 was about doctors not being very good patients. Season 3 is about doctors benefiting from being patients. And in that context, he said Robbie has begun the therapeutic road. It's had a positive effect. It's fragile and it's not without risk and vulnerability, but there's at least forward progress. Robbie is in therapy. It is working imperfectly. And season 3 is going to show us what a man like Robbie looks like when he is actually trying to get better rather than managing in isolation. I want to say something about what the Pitt has built in 18 months that I think these Emmy nominations and these season 3 revelations are both trying to tell us. This is a show about people who save lives for a living, filmed in a way that makes you feel every hour of the shift they're working, set in a hospital that is under-resourced and understaffed and doing extraordinary things anyway. It was created by R. Scott Gemmell, the same showrunner who was behind ER, and it stars Noah Wyle, who spent 11 seasons as Dr. John Carter on ER before coming back to a hospital set decades later as a different kind of doctor entirely. It is not ER. It does not try to be ER, but it carries the DNA of what made AIR great. The specificity, the respect for what emergency medicine actually feels like, the commitment to not looking away from what a trauma center demands of the people who work there, and build something completely its own on top of it. The Pitt Season 3 premieres in January 2027 on HBO Max. Seasons 1 and 2 are streaming in full right now on the same platform. And if you have not watched yet, the nomination that matters most is not the lead actor or the directing or the drama series. It is the fact that a show in its second season grew its audience by 50%. That happens because word of mouth among real people works in a way that no amount of press coverage can replace. Drop a comment and tell me, who do you think is going to win the Emmy out of the 25 nominations? And the November 12 shift is that the smartest creative decision this show has ever made, or Or does the real-time connection to the audience matter enough that breaking it costs something? Because I honestly think it's both, and I cannot wait to find out which feeling wins.